The Galactic Council sits in emergency session as a distress signal echoes across known space. The peaceful Ketra civilization faces extinction from the brutal Vex Empire. Council member Olan from the bird-like Ketra species pleads for military aid, but the galaxy's civilized races lack the firepower to challenge the Vex war machine. As hope fades, an elderly councilman named Heck mentions the Forbidden Records, tales of a violent species from a deadly world called Earth. Most dismiss these as myths, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Against protocol, the Council votes to send a plea to the unknown humans in the Outer Rim. The signal travels through dark space to reach Admiral Kane aboard the U.S. Reaper, humanity's flagship. The crew reads the alien message with growing interest. Captain Ross studies tactical reports of Vex brutality, while Commander Bell prepares the fleet for potential combat. Earth's High Command receives the alien plea through encrypted channels. General Hayes weighs the political implications, while Defense Minister Cross argues for immediate intervention. President Stone makes the final call. Humanity will answer the call, but on their own terms. The story establishes Earth as a death world that bred a warrior species. Humans evolved under constant threat from predators, natural disasters, and each other. Where other species developed peace and cooperation, humans mastered violence and war. Their ships are built like fortresses, their weapons designed for maximum destruction. As the human fleet prepares to depart, alien observers note the strange psychology of these creatures. They sing war songs while loading ammunition, laugh while discussing battle tactics, and show no fear of death. The aliens begin to understand why humans were quarantined from galactic society. The Vex Empire continues its assault on Ketra worlds, unaware that their actions have awakened something far worse than their victims. Vex Commander Nix leads the invasion fleet with typical arrogance, believing no force in the galaxy can challenge their might. The part ends with humanity's battle fleet jumping to hyperspace, carrying enough firepower to glass planets. The aliens who called for help begin to question their decision as they realize they may have invited devils to fight demons. Asterisk. The human fleet drops out of hyperspace at the edge of Ketra space, their massive ships casting shadows across peaceful worlds. The size and aggressive design of human vessels shocks alien observers. Where galactic ships prioritize efficiency and beauty, human craft are built for war. Admiral Kane establishes contact with the Ketra leadership through diplomatic channels. The aliens are surprised by human courtesy and professionalism, having expected savage barbarians. Kane explains human military doctrine and requests tactical intelligence on Vex forces. Ketra Admiral Yao briefs the humans on Vex capabilities and battle history. The aliens are confused when humans seem pleased rather than concerned by reports of Vex strength. Kane explains that humans prefer challenging opponents, viewing easy victories as disappointments. The first joint planning session reveals fundamental differences between human and alien warfare, where aliens focus on minimizing casualties and preserving infrastructure. Humans prioritize complete victory through overwhelming force. The concepts of acceptable losses and total war disturb the peaceful Ketra. Human scout ships begin reconnaissance missions along the Vex border, their stealth technology impressing alien observers. The scouts gather intelligence while avoiding contact, though several human crews express disappointment at missing potential fights. Meanwhile, Vex forces continue their methodical conquest of Ketra colonies. Vex war leader Grak receives reports of unknown ships in the region, but dismisses them as Ketra desperation tactics. The Vex have conquered dozens of species and see no reason to fear another. The human fleet establishes a forward base in the Ketra system, their military efficiency shocking alien observers. Human engineers work around the clock to prepare defensive positions while Marines conduct combat drills that resemble controlled Violence to peaceful aliens. Dr. Lin, the fleets. Xenobiologist, conducts cultural exchanges with Ketra civilians. The aliens are fascinated by human history and horrified by its violence. They struggle to understand how a species that mastered art, music, and literature could also perfect the art of war. Ketra children draw pictures of human soldiers as protectors, though adults worry about the cost of their salvation. The humans, seem kind individually, but collectively represent a force of destruction beyond alien comprehension. The part ends with Vex advanced forces detecting human ships and preparing to investigate. Both sides begin final preparations for a conflict that will determine the fate of civilizations and potentially reshape the galaxy's understanding of warfare itself. Vex patrol ships encounter human scouts in deep space, leading to the first exchange of fire. The brief skirmish ends with Vex vessels destroyed and human ships barely scratched. Vex survivors report impossible human tactics and weapons technology. War leader Grek reviews battle recordings with growing concern. Human ships move with aggressive precision, their weapons designed for maximum destruction rather than efficient victory. The Vex begin to realize they face an enemy unlike any they have conquered. Admiral Kane receives Vex battle data from the skirmish and smiles grimly. He orders the fleet to combat readiness while sending diplomatic warnings to Vex leadership. The humans offer one chance for peaceful withdrawal from Ketra space. The Vex response comes in the form of a full battle group advancing toward human positions. Vex Commander Dex leads 50 warships against what he believes are primitive aliens helping the Ketra. He plans to crush this new threat and continue the conquest. Human fleet formations spread across space in patterns that confuse alien observers. Instead of defensive positions, the humans adopt aggressive attack formations. Admiral Kane explains to worried Ketra officials that the best defense is overwhelming offense. The first major battle begins when Vex forces enter the outer Ketra system. Human ships launch from multiple vectors in coordinated assault waves. The aliens watch in horror and fascination as human warfare unfolds with brutal efficiency. Human tactics emphasize speed, violence, and decisive action. Where aliens might negotiate or seek minimal force solutions, humans strike with everything they have. The Vex fleet finds itself outnumbered and outgunned by an enemy they underestimated completely. Captain Ross leads a squadron of human destroyers in close combat against Vex cruisers. The human ships dart between enemy vessels like sharks, their weapons tearing through Vex armor with frightening ease. Ross's crew cheers with each enemy kill. Commander Bell coordinates fleet movements from the flagship's command center. Her tactical display shows Vex forces crumbling under human assault. The aliens fight bravely, but lack experience against opponents who view war as both art and science. Vex Commander Dex watches his fleet dissolve around him as human weapons find every weakness. His ship takes critical damage from human plasma, cannons designed to punch through the heaviest armor. He orders retreat, but few vessels remain to obey. The battle ends with Vex forces destroyed or fleeing. Human ships patrol the battlefield, ensuring no survivors can report back to Vex leadership. The efficiency of human victory shocks Ketra observers who expected prolonged warfare. Admiral Kane addresses the Ketra leadership after the battle, explaining that this was merely a preliminary engagement. The real war begins when human forces advance into Vex space to eliminate the threat permanently. The aliens realize their saviors fight not just battles, but total wars. News of the Vex defeat spreads through the Empire, causing panic among leadership who have never faced serious resistance. Vex Supreme Commander Rex mobilizes the home fleet while ordering strategic withdrawals from extended territories. Intelligence networks, established through previous conflicts, begin gathering data on Vex military installations and leadership structures. The humans plan not just to repel invasion, but to eliminate the Vex threat permanently through systematic destruction of their war machine. Admiral Kane leads the human fleet deep into Vex space, following retreating enemy forces. The humans adopt Wolf Pack tactics, striking supply lines and isolated outposts while avoiding major fleet engagements until the moment is right. Vex worlds experience human warfare for the first time as human marines assault military installations with terrifying efficiency. The humans fight with calculated brutality, showing mercy to civilians while eliminating military targets with extreme prejudice. General Hayes arrives from Earth with reinforcements, bringing the full weight of human military might to bear. The second wave includes planetary assault ships and specialized warfare units trained for the complete conquest of hostile civilizations. Vex civilians flee their border worlds as human forces advance relentlessly. The humans wage total war, targeting military infrastructure while sparing non-combatants. This selective brutality confuses Vex leadership, who expected either mercy or complete genocide. Rex attempts to rally Vex forces for a final stand at their fortress world of Vexer Prime. He concentrates the remaining fleet around heavily fortified positions, hoping superior numbers and defensive advantages can stop the human advance. Human siege warfare proves devastatingly effective as specialized ships bombard Vex fortifications from beyond defensive range. Where aliens might negotiate surrender terms, humans methodically destroy every military asset before demanding total capitulation. The climactic battle for Vexer Prime begins with human forces surrounding the planet in a complete blockade. Admiral Kane offers final surrender terms while preparing for planetary assault if necessary. The Vex must choose between destruction and submission. Human assault troops prepare for ground combat with equipment designed for fighting in hostile environments. Their training emphasizes victory through superior firepower and tactical coordination rather than heroic individual action preferred by many alien species. The part ends with Vex leadership fractured between those demanding final resistance and others seeking negotiated surrender. Meanwhile, human forces tighten their grip around Vex Prime, ready to end the war through complete victory or complete destruction of their enemies. The siege of Vexer Prime ends not with battle, but with Vex surrender as their leadership realizes the futility of resistance. Supreme Commander Rex formally submits to human authority, ending the Vex Empire's centuries of expansion and conquest. Human occupation forces establish military governance over former Vex territories with efficiency. That impresses and disturbs galactic observers. The humans demonstrate they can build peace as effectively as they wage war, though always from positions of absolute strength. Admiral Kane meets with Galactic Council representatives to discuss post-war arrangements. The aliens struggle to understand human concepts of deterrent warfare and the peace maintained through strength rather than mutual cooperation and understanding. The Ketra species celebrates their liberation while grappling with the reality of their saviors. Humans prove to be exactly what was needed, but also represent everything the peaceful galaxy fears about uncontrolled military power. Human forces begin withdrawal from occupied territories after establishing monitoring stations and defense agreements. The message is clear. The galaxy now has protectors, but those protectors come from a world that breeds warriors rather than diplomats. Dr. Lin publishes her cultural study of human-alien cooperation, noting how Deathworld psychology creates natural warriors and protectors. Her work becomes required reading for alien civilizations seeking to understand their new galactic neighbors. The Vex remnant accepts human oversight and begins transformation from military empire to productive member of galactic society. Human administrators prove surprisingly effective at rehabilitation, treating former enemies as potential allies rather than permanent threats. President Stone addresses the Galactic Council via long-range communication, offering formal diplomatic relations and mutual defense agreements. The aliens vote to accept, though many privately worry about inviting wolves to guard sheep. 5 years later, galactic civilization has adapted to human presence. Trade flourishes under human protection, while exploration expands into previously dangerous sectors. The galaxy enjoys unprecedented peace, maintained by the threat of human intervention. Former Vex War leader Grek, now serving human administrators, reflects on the transformation of his people from conquerors to contributors. He admits that human occupation proved more beneficial than destructive, though he still fears the power humanity represents. Admiral Kane, now promoted to fleet commander, establishes Earth's first permanent base in the galactic core. The humans maintain ready forces while pursuing peaceful cooperation, proving that warriors can choose when and how to fight. The story concludes with a new crisis emerging in distant galactic sectors, where unknown hostile forces threaten peaceful civilizations. The Galactic Council's response is immediate and confident. Send word to the humans. The final scene shows human ships launching from bases throughout the galaxy as Admiral Kane receives new mission orders. Humanity has found its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as the galaxy's guardians, ready to answer when peaceful beings cry for help. The aliens learn that sometimes salvation comes from the most unexpected sources, and that the deadliest species in the galaxy can also be its most reliable protectors when properly motivated by justice rather than conquest.